Hello students, good evening to one and all. I am Dr. Vipin B. Gawande and I welcome all of you for the today's GATE session. The subject is heat transfer and the topic for for the today's session is heat exchanger. Okay. Now first of all we'll take what is the weightage analysis for heat transfer in the previous examination. So, so this is the things in from 2013 up to the 2018. So if we take the average of this mass, so minimum that means 6 to 7 marks question that has been asked in the examination for on this for the total heat transfer subject. Okay, and out of that the maximum number of questions that is asked on the questions are asked on the heat exchanger topic. So we'll discuss this topic in today's session now in details. Okay, now all of you know this one. What is heat exchanger? So it is a system used to transfer the heat between the two or more fluids. Okay, I'm not going into detail of this theory. We only will concentrate on the concept only. So there are different types of heat exchanger. So one is the parallel flow heat exchanger. Now the name, as the name suggests, the parallel flow heat exchanger means both the fluid, that means the cold and hot fluid, they are flowing in the same direction. Now, in this case, when we plot this system on the temperature and length diagram, so this is the length of the heat exchanger on x-axis, and on y-axis we have the temperature. So this is very important diagram because we need this diagram for solving the numericals. So the hot fluid, it enters at Tc1. Okay. So sorry, this cold fluid it enters at Tc1. So this is Tc1 is here, and it leaves at the temperature Tc2. Okay. So while flowing through the heat exchanger, its temperature increases. So now, so that's why the curve goes up. Now we have TH1, that is the inlet temperature of the hot fluid, while TH2 is the outlet temperature of this hot fluid. Now during the flow of this hot fluid in the heat exchanger, it exchanges heat with the cold fluid. That's why its temperature decreases, and that's why this curve goes down. Okay, so TH1, so it represents the inlet temperature of hot fluid. H denotes hot, and 1 denotes the entry, that is the inlet. TH2 means it is hot fluid, and 2 denotes the exit. TC1 means it is inlet temperature of cold fluid, and TC2 it denotes the exit temperature of the cold fluid. Okay, so this diagram you have to remember. Okay. Now, similar for the counter flow heat exchanger. Now, as the name suggests, counter means it is in opposite direction. So both the cold fluid and the hot fluid, they are flowing in the opposite direction. Now, the nomenclature is same. Now, but when we plot this on the temperature and length diagram, so the TC1 is here and TC2 is here because the cold fluid is absorbing heat from the hot fluid, so the temperature goes up. Okay, and TH1. So TH1, this is the inlet temperature of the hot fluid, and it is going down up to TH2. So the temperature of the hot fluid it decreases while the temperature of the cold fluid it is increasing. Okay. Now, if we take the difference between these two, so see this is approximately this is constant. Okay. We will see how why this difference is constant. So that is very important concept, and maximum question they have asked on this the concept only. Okay. So this is the diagram for counter flow heat exchanger. Okay, so the cold fluid is going up because the temperature is increasing while the temperature of the hot fluid is decreasing. Okay, so that you have to remember. So these two diagrams are very important. Huh? This first is for the parallel flow, so this one, and the counter flow heat exchanger. So this is opposite. So it is going downward and upward. Okay. Now next comes the condenser. Okay, in GATE examination they have also asked the questions on the condenser and the evaporator also. Now you know what is meant by this condenser. So it is a in condenser the condensing fluid remain at constant temperature throughout the exchange. Here the condenser and evaporator only one thing you have to remember, that is the phase change. Okay. So if you consider the condenser in the power plant, whenever the steam is the coming, okay. So when the steam enters into this condenser, so it exchanges the heat with the cold water flowing through the tube, okay, and the phase change of the steam occur. Okay. Now we know that during whenever the fluid it is whenever there is the phase change of the fluid is there, so it is always occurs at constant temperature. Okay. Now here we have the steam, that is the hot fluid. Okay. Now hot fluid is changing the there is a phase change of the hot fluid. So it always occur at constant temperature. That's why we have to keep TH1 and TH2 same, that is equal. So that's why we have drawn it there the horizontal line. Okay. So first of all, so what we have to remember? First of all, there is a we have two fluids here. Out of that, one is changing its phase. Which one? Now in condenser, steam is changing its phase, and the phase change process always occurs at constant temperature. So TH1 and TH2 is same. So this is the horizontal line. Second fluid is what? That is the cold fluid which is flowing through the tubes. Now this cold fluid will absorb the heat from latent heat from this steam, and now its temperature goes up. So TC1 goes TC1, it is the inlet temperature of the cold water, while TC2 is the exit temperature of this cold water. Okay. So this is the temperature and the lane diagram for condenser. So this diagram also you have to remember. And which concept you have to remember? That is this TH1 and TH2 is same. Why? Because there is a phase change of hot fluid here. Okay. So that is the condenser diagram. Okay. Now here also I have drawn the same thing, whatever I have explained to you. So this constant temperature line, if you take this Rankine cycle diagram, so here this is 2 to 3. It denotes the what heat addition. This 6 to 1. 6 to 1 denotes this is 6 and 1. This is condenser. So here there is a what? There is a release of heat. So see, if you draw this TS, that is temperature and entropy diagram. So in temperature and entropy diagram, this 6-1 denotes the phase change process in the condenser. So if you see here, this is 6-1. This is our Rankine cycle. So this is the same thing I have drawn here. Okay. So that concept comes from here. Next is boiler or evaporator. Okay. So if you take the evaporator, now in evaporator, now if you consider the refrigeration system, so refrigerator in the refrigerator takes the heat, and there is a phase change process of the refrigerant. So the refrigerant is what? That is a cold fluid now. Okay. So refrigerant is TC1 and TC2. So the temperature of refrigerant remains same. Why? Because the phase change of that cold fluid is now the phase change of the cold fluid is occurring. So that phase change occurs at what? Constant temperature. So in case of the evaporator, TC1 and TC2 of refrigerant remains same. So this is TC1 is equal to TC2. While the other fluid, it gives heat to the cold fluid. That's why temperature decreases. So TH1 and TH2. So here this is temperature drop of hot fluid, while the refrigerant, since there is a phase change of this refrigerant, so it occurs at constant temperatures. Okay. So this is TC1 and TC2. So these two diagrams you have to remember. One is for evaporator. Okay. Here it is TC1 is constant. If you take the condenser, so in condenser we have TH1 is equal to TH2. Okay, so that we have to remember. The two diagrams are very important. So we have seen 4 diagrams. One is for the parallel flow heat exchanger. The another one is this is for the counter flow heat exchanger. Then we have the condenser, and the last one is what? The evaporator. Okay. So on these 4 diagrams, they have asked many questions in the GATE examination. Now the next the concept is what? It is called the overall heat transfer coefficient. We have seen initially in previous lecture, the sir might have been told you regarding the heat transfer coefficient. So that is denoted with H. Okay. So when there is a heat transfer coefficient, why we are going for overall heat transfer coefficient? Now we know that there are the 3 modes of heat transfer. One is conduction, convection, and radiation. And for all the things, we are taking heat transfer coefficient. But why we are going for this overall heat transfer coefficient? So it comes into picture when there is a multiple modes of heat transfer that is occurring in a single thermodynamic system or in the thermal system. So if we consider suppose a tube, and if the hot fluid is going through this tube, so the heat will transfer from this fluid to the wall. That is by means of the convection. Then from the wall inside this wall, that is by conduction, and again that from wall to another fluid, that is by convection. So that means the modes of heat transfer, so we are changing. Okay. So instead of calculating the heat transfer coefficient for all these 3, that means here convection, then conduction, and again convection. So we are taking for total system, we are taking only one heat transfer coefficient. Okay, and that's why that is called as what? Overall heat transfer coefficient. So when we take that overall heat transfer coefficient, it is denoted with U. Okay. Now, what is the heat transfer? The heat is given by the cold fluid, cold fluid, or suppose first we'll take the hot fluid Q. So Q is equal to what? Q is equal to mCp delta T. Okay, so that is the general formula. When we apply this for the hot fluid, you just put it here the suffix H. So Mh Cph. Mh means what? It is the mass flow rate. Okay, and Cph means it's the specific heat capacity, and Th1 minus Th2. Okay, so temperature difference is very important here. Th1 hot temperature, that is the temperature of the hot fluid minus the temperature of the cold fluid. So Th1 minus Th2. While if this is a cold fluid, then Q is equal to what? The general formula is mCp delta T. Now you put C here. C is for cold fluid. Now mc Cpc, and what is the temperature now difference here? Don't take here Tc1 minus Tc2. Be careful here, because the initial temperature is Tc1, final temperature is Tc2. Yeah? The higher temperature is Tc2. So Tc2 minus Tc1. While in case of hot fluid, the inlet temperature is higher, while the other temperature is lower. Okay, so Th1 minus Th2. So maximum students, they make mistakes here only in the formula of Q. Q is equal to mCp delta T. If it is hot fluid, then it is from inlet to outlet, Th1 minus Th2. While when it is cold fluid, it is from Tc2 to Tc1. Okay. Now this is Q. Okay. Now heat given by the hot fluid is equal to heat given by the cold fluid. So that is by the heat balance equation. Now, how to calculate this overall heat transfer coefficient now? Okay, so this is overall heat transfer is the total heat transfer between this total system is what? Q is equal to UA, this theta m. Okay, where U denotes the overall heat transfer coefficient. Why we are taking the overall heat transfer coefficient? Because there is a multiple modes of heat transfer in this system. Okay, so that's why we are taking U as a combined overall heat transfer coefficient. A is the effective heat transfer area. Now, what is the heat transfer area? That is the circumferential area pi dl. Okay, so that comes here. Theta m is this theta m is called as what? It is called as LMTD, or it is called as logarithmic mean temperature difference. And in GATE examination, the maximum question they ask on this LMTD. Calculate what is the LMTD. So this is the log mean temperature difference. Okay, so now. So you have to remember what now while calculation you have to remember only these three formulas. Which one? That is the first formula is Q is equal to UA theta m. Okay, and how to calculate this Q, or what is the value of this Q? It is the value is mH Cph Th1 minus Th2, or it is mc Cpc Tc2 minus Tc1. Okay, so either one value we can take for this Q. Okay, and this is UA theta m. Okay. So this is for overall heat transfer coefficient. So remember this formula. We'll start with this formula and we'll calculate the temperature, unknown temperature in the problem. Okay. So this comes here. Next. Okay. Now we'll apply that. How to, that is what is the log mean temperature difference for parallel flow heat exchanger, and what is the log mean the LMTD value, that is log mean temperature difference for the counter flow heat exchanger. Now, for both parallel flow heat exchanger and the counter flow heat exchanger, the value of this LMTD is same. Okay, what is the formula for this theta m? So theta m is equal to theta 1 minus theta 2 ln theta 1 by theta 2. What is this theta 1? Theta 1 means it is Th1 minus Tc1. Okay, so whenever we are calculating LMTD, the temperature difference is here, Th1 minus Tc1. And what is theta 2? The theta 2 is Th2 minus Tc. Th2 minus Tc2. Okay, so this is theta 2. So from there we can calculate the Q. That is theta m, LMTD. When you are calculating Q, okay, whenever you are calculating Q, so then you have to take temperature difference is this one, Th1 minus Th2. Here it is Th1 minus Th2, or you have to take Tc2 minus Tc1. Okay, so you have to be very careful while calculating the value of Q and while calculating the value of theta m. When theta m is we have to calculate, then it is theta 1 minus theta 2. Theta 1 means Th1 minus Tc1 on this side, left hand side, right hand side. Okay, and while calculating Q, the temperature difference is Th1 minus Th2 and Tc2 minus Tc1. For cold fluid it is higher minus lower. For hot fluid it is higher minus lower. Okay, so this is for parallel fluid exchanger. The similar formula is for what? The counter fluid exchanger. Again, Q is equal to total heat transfer is UA theta m. This formula is the same for this one also. Okay, if you consider here Th1 minus Th2 for calculation of Q, mCp delta T, Tc2 minus Tc1. Okay, here it is also Tc2 minus Tc1. Theta 1 is, here it is Th1 minus Tc2. Okay, so from the diagram you have to take this one, Th1 minus Tc2. while here it is theta 2 means what? It is TH2 minus TC1. Okay, so that is the difference between the parallel flow heat exchanger and the counter flow heat exchanger. Okay, so always consider theta 1, that is left hand side temperature difference, TH1 minus TC2, theta 2 means TH2 minus TC1. Okay, so that comes into picture. Okay, so what we have to remember here in the first part, LMTD, first one formula, total heat transfer Q is equal to UA theta m, where U is overall heat transfer coefficient, air is the surface area, and theta m is LMTD. How to calculate this LMTD? So by this formula. And how to calculate this Q? So by this formula. So just remember this one. Okay. Now the next one is, okay. Now we'll take the special case. Now suppose I have told you, now if you consider a counter flow heat exchanger and if the condition occurs theta 1 is equal to theta 2. So we know that the LMTD formula is what? Q1 minus theta 1 minus theta 2. Ln theta 1 by theta 2. If theta 1 is equal to theta 2, then this becomes what? This is undeterminate. Okay. So we can't calculate this Q value, okay, because Q is equal to what? Q is equal to UA theta m. So if this theta 1 and theta 2 is equal to theta, if these both the temperature difference are same, then this value becomes, Q value becomes 0. Okay, this becomes 0 then, or we can calculate this value. Okay, so in this case, if such condition occurs, if this theta 1 is equal to theta 2, then this theta m is calculated by means of L'Hospital rule. Okay, so that is the theory questions in the GATE examination. They generally ask, if theta 1 is equal to theta 2, then what is the value of this theta m? So theta m value, it is calculated using L'Hospital rule, and that value comes out to be theta. Which theta? So you either take theta 1 or you take theta 2. That means if this theta 1 is that means this is 30 and this one is also 30. So theta comes out to be what? It is 30. Okay. So that is the value. This is theta only now. Now theta is what? It is theta 1 is equal to theta 2. Okay. Now if theta 1 is less than theta 2, okay, the second case, if it is less than 1.7, then we have to take ln, that is theta m is equal to how much? It is theta 1 plus theta 2 divided by 2. That is called as arithmetic mean temperature difference. Okay. So you have to be very careful while calculating this theta m for the problem parallel flow heat exchanger and counter flow heat exchanger. And this condition is very important, and this condition is only for counter flow heat exchanger. Okay, so when theta 1 is equal to theta 2, so just consider theta m while calculation of this Q. When we are calculating this Q value, so this theta m is taken as what? Either Q1 or theta 1 or theta 2. Okay, so that comes into here. So this is very important condition generally asked in the examination for 1 mark question. Okay, okay. Now theta m is, now here it is theta m for the counter flow. The counter flow unit is always greater than that of the parallel flow unit. Okay, so for that is for counter flow, if we consider, we have considered two things. One is the that is what? The counter flow. We have to counter flow heat exchanger, and we have considered the parallel flow heat exchanger. Okay. Now it is saying that LMTD, okay, so that is theta m. Theta m is greater for this counter flow, okay, and theta m is less for what? This is for parallel flow. Okay. Now we have seen the formula. What is the formula? Q is equal to U. This is A, and what? This is theta m. Now this theta m is what? It is greater for the this counter flow. Okay. Now you take this area. Now this area comes here. Okay, I'm taking area here, so you remove this area comes here. Now from this statement, what we can interpret? So when the LMTD value for the counter flow heat exchanger is higher, that means area is less. Then area is less for what? Counter flow heat exchanger. That means when area is less for same heat transfer, this counter flow heat exchanger it is what? It gives us the compact design. Okay, it gives us the compact design. Okay, so design of the counter flow heat exchanger, it is a compact design. So compact design means what? For the small area we get the same heat transfer. But if we take, that means suppose if this is the tubes here, okay, and this is A area for the counter flow heat exchanger. If we consider parallel flow, so we require here bigger area. Okay, we require here bigger area for same Q, for same heat transfer. Okay, so that is the interpretation from this statement. So LMTD for counter flow heat exchanger is greater. So if the LMTD for counter flow heat exchanger is greater, then its area is less. And area is less means what? Area is less means that counter flow heat exchanger is having what? Compact design. So this is your 1 mark question for the GATE examination. Okay. So that is asked in the examination. Okay. Now we'll take the examples on LMTD. Now I hope that you understand the what the formulas. So we'll start with the examples on the LMTD. Okay. Now we'll take the first questions from the GATE examination. So that is what the the what GATE. Okay. The problem number 1 is from the GATE examination. The 2000 it is 2014. Okay. Now what is the problem? We'll read and we'll solve the problem here. Okay. A double pipe counter flow heat exchanger. We'll start with the first statement. A double pipe counter flow heat exchanger. Okay. So whenever it is counter flow heat exchanger, okay. Now we'll start the solution of this problem. You also solve on your own. Okay. So problem is given a double pipe counter flow heat exchanger. Okay. So whenever there is a counter flow heat exchanger, so you start with some time. Okay. So counter flow heat exchanger. So you start with first the diagram. So what is the diagram counter flow heat exchanger? So this is what this is TH1 and this is TH2. So and this arrow, see the arrow. This is counter flow. We have to take opposite. This is what this is TC1. This is lower temperature, and this one is what this is TC2. Okay. Now, so this is counter flow arrangement is there. Okay. Now what is the next? What is the next thing? Now in counter flow heat exchanger, heat between two water streams. Tube side water at 19 liter per second is heated. So tube side water at 19. So this is cold fluid. 19. So this is here it is mass flow rate of the cold water is given. So this is how much? This is 19. Okay. This is liter per second it is given. Okay. It is 19 per liter per second it is given. Okay. So this is heated from 10 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius. So this is what? This is 10 degrees Celsius. Okay. This is 10 degrees Celsius and PC2 is how much? It is increased now. So this is 38 degrees Celsius. Okay. So this is for the cold fluid. Okay. So what is given? Tube side water. Okay. It is heated from 10 degrees Celsius to 38 degrees Celsius. Now shell side water at 25 degrees, 25 liter per second. So 25 liters per second is what now? This is for here. This is for hot fluid. So this is 25. Okay. And the unit is what? It is liter per second. So this is for hot fluid. Okay. On the other side, and is entering at 46 degrees Celsius. Entering at 46 degrees Celsius. So which temperature entering means it is TH1. Okay, so this is 46 degrees Celsius. You have to be very careful about the temperature. Okay, so whenever there is a entering, hot fluid is entering, it is TH1. Okay, when cold fluid is entering, it is TC1. Okay, so this is 10, this is 38, this is 46 degrees Celsius. Okay, assume the constant properties of the water. Density is given 1000 kg per meter cube. Okay, so now if we take the density, so density is here. This is 1000. And here it is kg per meter cube. Okay, so this is kg per meter cube. Density is given, and specific heat is given 4186 joule per kg Kelvin, and we have given specific heat, that is 4186. Okay, this is joule per kg Kelvin. Okay, this is joule per kg Kelvin. Okay, now these things are given up to here. The LMTD in degrees Celsius is, okay, we have to find out LMTD in degrees Celsius. So what is asked in the problem? They have asked us to calculate that is LMTD. What is LMTD? This is theta m. That is theta m. Now how to calculate this LMTD? Okay. Now we know that what is the formula for LMTD for parallel heat exchanger and counter flow heat exchanger? The formula for this theta m is same. So what is the formula for this theta m? This is what? This is theta 1 minus it is theta 2. Okay, and this is ln theta 1 divided by theta 2. This is the formula for the formula for LMTD is same for parallel flow heat exchanger and counter flow heat exchanger. So theta m is equal to what? Theta 1 minus theta 2 ln theta 1 by theta 2. What is this theta 1? Theta 1 is this one. Okay, this is theta 1 is this one. What is theta 2? Theta 2 is this one here. Which one? TH2 minus TC1. Okay, and theta 1 is what? TH1 minus TC2. Now, if we take theta 1, so theta 1 is known to us. Okay, TH1 minus TC2. So this is theta 1 is known to us. That is given in the problem. But when we are calculating this theta 2, so TH2 is not known. This is not known in the problem. Okay. So first of all, we have to find out what? We have to find out this value. We have to find out this TH2 value. Now, how to find out this TH2 value now? Okay. So this value comes from what? The heat balance equation. So what is the heat balance equation? So this is MC. Okay. CPC. Okay. Now this is cold fluid. So what is the temperature difference? TC2 minus TC1. Not TC1 minus TC2. Be careful about the temperature difference. So this is TC2 minus TC1. So this is TC2 minus TC1. This is for cold fluid. What is the heat balance equation for the hot fluid? So this is MH. MH. This is CPH. And what is the temperature difference? Now higher temperature minus lower temperature. So this is TH1 minus TH2. Okay, this is given. Now out of this, what is given in the problem? So MC is given. Okay, it is 19 liter per second. CP is given. Both the fluids are water only. Here there are two water systems. So CPC and CPH it is same because both are water. Okay, so we can neglect that one or we can cancel it out. So this get cancelled, CPC and CPC. Why? Because this is given for this is for water and both the fluids are water here. Okay. Now out of this TC2, so TC2 is given, TC1 is given. Okay. MH is given in the problem. TH1 is given in the problem, and we have to calculate this value. Okay. We have to calculate this what? TH2 value. So from this formula, only one unknown is there, and we can calculate these unknown using this formula. Now, while using this formula, this MC is given in liter per second. Okay, so we have to convert this into kg per second because in this formula, the unit of this MC is what? It is kg per second. So how to convert this MC into kg per second? So you know the conversion. What is the conversion? So MC is equal to, this is 19. 1 liter is equal to 10 raised to power minus 3 meter cube per second. Okay, if you multiply this by liter, 1 liter is equal to 10 raised to power minus 3 meter cube. So this get converted into 19 into 10 raised to power minus 3 meter cube per second. But we want what? We want kg per second. So to get this kg per second, you have to multiply this by what? The density. So that is given in the problem. So you multiply this by 1000 kg and this meter cube. Now this meter cube and meter cube get cancelled. This 1000 they get cancelled, and the final value is what? It is 19 kg per second. Okay. So similarly, we can find out for this one also. If you multiply this by 10 raised to power minus 3 meter cube per second, and if you multiply this by 1000, so you will get here what? It is 25 kg per second. Okay. Now put the value here. This is 19. Okay. You put the values of this one here and the mm. Well, calculate the value of TH2. If you calculate the value of this TH2, so TH2 that comes out to be 14. That comes. Okay, I have not calculated value. TH something, it comes out to be 14 point something. Okay. So just make the calculation of this one and put that values here. So theta m. I'm giving you the final answer. This comes out to be 11.02. Okay. So what is the answer of this problem? It is 11.03. Okay. So see, what I have learned, that means while preparation of this GATE examination, the calculation of the each and every term is not required. You have to just understand the concept. Okay. And that concept only I am explaining here. Okay, I am not calculating the values. If you know the concept how to calculate the unknown quantities, just put the formula, see what is unknown and how to calculate that unknown. So then they automatically you will get the answer. Don't worry about this final answer, it will come. But what is required? First of all, he has asked us to calculate what is his question? His question is how to calculate LMTD. So first I will write down the formula for LMTD. Okay, for the formula for LMTD, it is theta 1 minus theta 2 ln theta 1 by theta 2. Now in this problem, how to calculate? Now first, now just see how to calculate theta 1. Theta 1 is th1 minus tc2. It is known to us, known to me. Theta 2 is what? It is th2 minus tc1. But out of that, th2 is not known. Now how to calculate this th2? Always remember, while calculation of these four quantities, you use Q formula. Okay, heat balance formula. Okay, this term is our QC, and this term is our what? QH. So what I have done, I have made the heat balance. So cold fluid MCCPC TC2 minus TC1, and this is hot fluid MHCPS TH1 minus TH2. I have cancelled out these two terms because both the fluids are water, so precipitate get cancelled. So it is the same for both the fluids. So this get cancelled. Mass flow rate, it is given in liter, so I have converted that into what? I have to convert that in kg per second. So I have multiplied it by what? The 10 raised to the power minus 3 meter cube per second, and then multiplied by density. Okay, so that comes in kg per second. You have to be very careful about the units. Okay, this MC is kg per second. This is joule per kg Kelvin. This is joule per kg Kelvin. CPC. Okay, and this is in Kelvin. Okay, so if you cancel it out, overall the answer will come in, the value of Q will come in joule. Okay, if you get the value, so Q comes out to be in joule. So and the final answer is what? It is 11.02. So I hope that you will understand this problem. Okay, so now we'll go for the next now. So I'm not. So you just do the calculation. I'm only giving you the concept. Okay, so that is only required, and you can solve any problem from the examination. So don't worry about the calculations. Answer will come. Just remember the formulas. Okay. Now let us go for the next problem. Okay. Now just tell me. See, a balanced counterflow heat exchanger. The first sentence of the problem, and it says counterflow heat exchanger. Now whenever it says counterflow heat exchanger, now draw the diagram for counterflow heat exchanger. What is the counterflow? How to draw the counterflow heat exchanger? So counterflow heat exchanger is something like this. Okay. Here there is a hot fluid. Here there is this is the inlet of the hot fluid, and this is the outlet of the hot fluid. Now the cold fluid will start from here because it is a counterflow, so we have to go upward. So then this becomes the direction becomes opposite, and this is what? This is TC2. So first statement of the problem, and I had drawn the diagram. Okay, so this diagram I had drawn temperature and the length diagram. So next is has a surface area of 20 meters square. Okay, so what we are given now, given A is equal to, this is 20 meters square. Okay, next is what? Overall heat transfer coefficient is given 20 watt per meter square Kelvin. Okay, so what is the overall heat transfer? U. How much it is? This is 20 watt per meter square. 20, this is watt. Okay, this is watt per meter square Kelvin. Okay, so this is given. Now next sentence is the overall heat transfer coefficient air. Okay, air. So air, it is of air it is given. So air is equal to Cp 1000 joule per kg Kelvin. Cp 1000 joule per this is kg Kelvin it is given. Okay. Now air is entering at 0.4 kg per second. Okay. This is air. Now air means what? Now that becomes our cold fluid. Okay. So here this is MC. This is what? 0.4. This is kg per second. Okay. Kg per second of this Cp. Okay. Of this Cp. So this is for cold fluid Cp. Okay. And 280 Kelvin. Okay. 280 Kelvin. So it is 280 Kelvin means what? It is the entering temperature of that air. So it is given in terms of Kelvin. So 280 Kelvin. Next is to be preheated. Okay. So how will you decide? That is the air, and we are preheating that air. So that is the first fluid, that is the cold fluid, and that initial air it is preheated by the another air. Okay, leaving the system at. Okay, we have again the air leaving the system at 0.4 kg per second. Now this 0.4 it denotes what? The mass flow rate of the another air, another fluid that is hot now. Okay, because that is at higher temperature. Because this air, another air. Now it is giving heat to the first air, okay, and it is get created. So the air leaving the system is hot, and the mass flow rate of that air is 0.4 kg per second. So for this one, so for this is it is a hot air, and it's it is given what is given, it is 0.4 kg per second. So this is 0.4, this is kg per second. This is for hot air, okay, and 300 Kelvin. Now what is the temperature? It is air leaving the system, so that means this is 300 Kelvin, that is TH2. This is very important. So this is 300 Kelvin, okay. So this air, it is giving heat to our the first air, okay, the another air, okay, and it is hitting this air, okay, and its mass flow rate is 0.4, its mass flow rate is also 0.4, and this Cp is now both, since both the fluids are air, so this Cpc is equal to what? This is Cpc is equal to what? Cph, because both the fluids are air. In first problem also we have taken the same thing, okay. So if the fluid is same, that means the specific heat is same for both the fluid. So Cpc is equal to what? Cph, that is equal to 1000. Now next is what? The outlet temperature in Kelvin of the preheated air. Outlet temperature of the preheated air, okay. Outlet temperature of preheated air. So what we have to calculate? Outlet temperature of preheated air means what? Which temperature? So this is what? This is TC2, preheated air. Which air is getting heated? Cold fluid, cold air. This one, first air. Okay, this air. We call this as the cold air, and this is hot air. So cold air gets preheated, okay, by means of this hot air. Okay. So we have to calculate what? The outlet temperature of the preheated air. Okay. So we have to calculate here TC2. So now how we are going to calculate this TC2 now? Okay, so first we will use the what? You try with first, whenever temperature is whenever we have to calculate the temperature, use mass balance equation. So the energy balance equation. So what is the energy balance equation? So MC, this is Cpc. Now what is the temperature difference for this cold fluid? It is Tc2 minus Tc1, higher temperature minus lower temperature. So this is Tc2 minus this is Tc1. Okay, this is Q for cold fluid. Now what is the Q for hot fluid? MCP delta T. So M hot, Cp hot here. What is the temperature difference? Delta T. Higher temperature minus lower temperature. TH1 minus TH2. Okay. So this is TH1 minus TH2. Okay. So this is what? This is the heat balance or the energy balance equation for the cold fluid and hot fluid. Now what is known? C. MC is 0.4. Okay, MC is 0.4. This MH is also 0.4. Okay, so this get cancelled. What is Cp? Cp of cold fluid, that is air also, and hot fluid is also air. So this get cancelled. Okay, that means what is there? This is delta. This delta T of cold fluid is equal to what? This delta T. This is delta T of what? Hot fluid. Okay, and when this is possible? When the mass flow rate, the product of mass flow rate and specific heat of both the fluid is same, then the temperature difference between the cold fluid and hot fluid is same. Okay. Now here this is what? This is 300 minus 280. This is 300 minus this is what? Sorry, this is TC2. TC2 is not known. Okay. So okay, now we'll see what is known to us. Now here it is Tc1 is what? Tc1 is 280 here. Okay, Tc1 is 280. Th2 is 300. Okay, and here it is what? Th1 is Th1 is not known. Okay, this temperature is not known. Okay, this temperature is not known. And what is this temperature? Th2. Th2 is also not known. Okay, so this is also not known. Okay, this is not known. That means we can't use this. That means this whatever the equation we have framed. But here we have now two unknowns, so we can't use this formula. Now, what is the another formula? Since here the overall heat transfer is given in the problem, so we will use Q is equal to Okay, so if I calculate this Q, then I can use this to what you have to calculate. We have to calculate TC2. This we have to calculate. So this is known. This is known. Okay, TC2 we have to calculate. Okay, so only one unknown is there if I know this Q. Okay, because using this energy balance equation, I can't calculate the value of TC2 because there are two unknowns. Here it is TH1 and TH2. So we have to go for next thing now. The second thing, what Q? Calculation of Q. If I calculate this Q and if I use this formula, then I can calculate the value of TC2. So how to calculate this Q now? So since overall heat transfer coefficient is given in the problem, so we use the formula for overall heat transfer coefficient. What is that? Q is equal to UA, and here it is what? This is what? This is theta m. This is theta m. Now how to calculate this? Now in this formula, U is known 20, A is known 20. Now how to calculate this theta m? Now we know that there is a formula for theta m. Theta m is equal to what? Theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by ln theta 1 by theta 2. Okay, the formula for theta 1 is equal to theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by ln theta 1 by theta 2. Okay. Now in this case, theta 1 we can't calculate theta 1 because this is th1 minus th2. Theta 1 is th1 minus tc2, and theta 2 is known. Theta is known, but we can't calculate this value. Now theta m, this theta m. So how to calculate this theta m? We know that. See here, we know that theta m is here. There is a temperature difference. Delta Tc is equal to delta Th. That means this temperature and this temperature is same. Okay. That means theta 2 and theta 1. This is theta 1 is same. Now when theta 1 and theta 2 is same, so I have that means we have taken that special case here. Okay, if you see here, if theta 1 and theta 2 is same, so what is the value of this theta m? So that theta m is equal to what? It is theta. Okay, so in this case also, since MCP product for both the fluid is same, so delta Tc is equal to delta Th. That means this delta T, this temperature difference is equal to this temperature difference. Okay, so when theta 1 and theta 2 is same, so this theta 1 and this theta 2 is same. Okay, in this case, because theta 1 and theta 2 it is same. It comes out to be same. So this theta m is what? Now then, if this theta m becomes now this 300 minus 280, you take, because this is the unknown quantities. So theta will come out to be what? 300 minus 280. So it becomes 20. So this is U is equal to 20, A is equal to 20, and what is this theta m? This is also equal to 20. So you calculate the value of this Q. Put this value of Q here. Okay. When you put this value of Q here, M is known, Cp is known, and Tc2 is only unknown. Calculate the value of Tc2. So that Tc2 value will come out to be here. It is 300. Okay. Okay. So that's why, because when we take this theta 1 and theta 2 is equal to same, then only this temperature difference will become same. Okay. So this will give us the same temperature difference. That's why we are taking that as these two temperature difference are same. Okay. Or otherwise, you have to remember, whenever there is MCP, this calculation is same. So theta 1 is equal to theta 2. Okay. So how we have solved this problem? So first of all, we have to calculate the value of Tc2. We have tried first the energy balance equation, but there are two unknowns in this energy balance equation. So we have gone for the theta this LMTD formula, and in LMTD formula, what is this theta m? Theta m is theta. It is theta 1 is equal to theta 2. So out of that, we have taken 300 minus 280, so that is equal to 20, because that comes from which the concept. So delta Tc is equal to delta Th. So if this temperature difference is same, then the temperature difference between these two, okay, if delta Tc and delta Th is same, then these lines are not curved, but they are straight lines. They are straight lines, and difference between these two lines are same. So that is equal to how much? It is theta, and we know that this theta is what? It is theta m. Okay. So now we can solve the problem something like this. Okay. So the solution for the second problem, it is 300 Kelvin. So you just make a try of this problem, you will get the answer. But you have to be very careful which concept you have to use here. That is theta m value is the, that is 300. That is the difference between 300 minus 280. Okay, and that comes because of what? The product of that two things. Okay, so this one is the second problem. Now this is very simple problem. What is that? For a heat exchanger, delta T max is the maximum temperature difference and delta Tm is the minimum temperature difference between the two fluids. LMTD is the log mean temperature difference. C minimum and C max are the minimum and the maximum heat capacity rates. The maximum possible heat transfer Q max between the two fluids is, okay, the maximum possible heat transfer Q max, okay, between the two fluids. We have to calculate Q max. Okay, now I have told you the formula. What is the formula? Q. This is our Q max. What is the formula for Q? U A, and this is what? This is what? This is theta m. Okay. Now to get this theta m, okay, we have to get this theta m. So what they have asked here? C minimum, that is delta. What is the value of Q max? Okay. Now what is this the value? So we want here Q max maximum. That means we want what the area must be more and this LMTD value must be more. Okay. Now this LMTD value theta m. Okay. We have calculated using what? Theta 1 minus theta 2 and divided by this ln theta 1 divided by theta 2. Okay. Now to get this theta m value, this difference must be maximum. Which one? This theta 1 minus theta 2. Okay. Now theta 1 minus theta, to get this theta 1 minus theta 2 difference maximum, we required, if we take the counter flow or parallel flow, you take any arrangement here. So this is TH1 and this is TH2. Okay, this is TC1 and this is TC2. Now we want this theta 1 minus theta 2 difference higher. So that is, this is theta 1 and this is theta 2. Okay. Now the maximum higher temperature difference is obtained when the C minimum. C minimum means what? This is C. Okay. That means heat capacity of cold fluid or heat capacity of hot fluid. Okay. And this is capital C. And what is this Cc? So this is mass flow rate of the cold fluid and the Cp of cold fluid. The product of MC CPC, that is capital C. Okay. So and CH means what? It is MH CPH. Okay. Now we have to calculate this the product of these two, MCCPC, MHCPH, and out of that we have to take minimum. We have to take a what? Minimum value. Why minimum value? So I will tell you that one. Okay. So if we take the minimum value, then only we'll get the maximum temperature difference. How it comes? So that we will understand from the energy balance equation. Now see this one. Okay. So here it is MCCPC. Okay. So this could be C minimum. Okay. Or the capital CC. Okay. This may be capital CC. And the temperature difference here, it is what? T. Here it is TC. What is the value? This is TC2 minus TC1. TC2 minus TC1. And for the hot fluid, it is MH CPH. Here it is TH1. Sorry, yeah. This is hot fluid. So this is TH1 minus TH2. Okay, this is TH1 minus TH2. Okay. Now, when this is, suppose if we consider CC, this is CC and this is what? This is CH. Now, if this CC is minimum, if this is minimum, okay, and this CH is maximum, then to maintain the equality of this equation, this temperature difference must be maximum. Okay, this temperature difference must be maximum. If this is minimum, if CH is minimum in the problem, then in that case, then this temperature, hot fluid temperature difference must be maximum to maintain the equality of the temperature. So what two things are needed for Qmax? We required C minimum, because whenever there is a C minimum, we'll get maximum temperature difference. Okay, when we make this C minimum, then the on one side the temperature difference will increase, so that will give the temperature maximum temperature difference. So the first condition is what we required, C minimum. So out of that, in the option we have C minimum here. Okay, so that is C minimum here. So we required C minimum. Another thing, what we required maximum temperature difference. Okay, out of this, what is the effect of the C minimum? There is a maximum temperature difference. So the temperature difference is what? Then the temperature difference is delta T max. Okay, so whenever we have to increase the, now this is what, this is the unit of this one is what? Kelvin. Okay, ultimately we have to increase what? We have to increase the temperature difference. How we are going to increase the temperature difference? When we are taking the minimum specific heat, and because of that minimum specific heat, it results into what? Maximum temperature difference. How it increases, how it results into maximum temperature difference? So if this is minimum, if this quantity is minimum, this quantity should be maximum. Temperature difference should be maximum. If this quantity is minimum, then this should be maximum. So that means there is a relation between C minimum and delta T max. If C minimum is less, the temperature delta T max is higher. Okay. Now, so the correct answer for this question is what? The answer, the option B, that is C minimum delta T max. Okay. And the concept is what? This is the concept. Okay. So just use the energy balance equation and make one thing minimum. Okay. If one thing is minimum, that is the product of mass flow rate and the heat capacity. The another thing is what? The higher temperature difference is higher. Okay. So that is a simple concept, and the question is asked on the GATE examination. Okay. Now this is the another one. Now the saturated stream at 100°C condenses. Condenses means what? It is the problem of condenser. Now we have seen the diagram for the condenser. So what is the diagram for the condenser? In condenser, we have steam at higher temperature. So this is TH1, this is TH2, this is our steam condenser. So steam is entering into the condenser. So steam is the phase change of, there is a phase change of the steam. Whenever there is a phase change, the temperature remains same. So you have to be careful here. Okay, this is steam, and we have water. We have cold water flowing in the through the tubes. So this is what? This is TC1, and after getting the heat from the steam, its temperature increases to TC2. So there is a phase change of the one fluid, so its temperature remains same, while there is an increase in the temperature of the another fluid, so it goes TC1 to TC2. Okay, so this is the diagram for what? This is the diagram for condenser. Now let us see the what is given. Saturated steam at 100°C. Steam at 100°C. So what is the value? So TH1 is equal to TH2 is equal to 100°C. This is 100°C. TH1 is equal to also, this is also 100°C. Okay. So steam at 100°C. So TH1 is equal to TH2. On the outside of the tube, cold fluid enters the tube at 20°C. Cold fluid enter at 20. So which temperature? Cold fluid enters at 20. So TC1. Okay. Then and exits at 50°C. What is the exit temperature of the cold fluid? It is 50°C. Okay. Why the temperature has increased? Because the steam has given its heat to the cold fluid. So its temperature gets increased. Okay. Exit, the value of log mean temperature differences. So this is very simple problem. Okay, we have to calculate what? We have to calculate the value of log mean temperature difference, theta m. Now what is the value? First of all, we have to calculate theta m. So write down the formula for theta m. What is the formula? Theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by ln. It is theta 1 divided by theta 2. Okay, what is theta 1? Theta 1 is here. TH1 minus TC1. So that is known to us. What is theta 2? This is theta 2. What is theta 2? TH2 minus TC2. This is also known. So this is 100 minus 20, 80. So the theta 1 is equal to 80. What is theta 2? 100 minus 50. So this is 50. So 80 minus 50, ln 80 divided by 50. Okay, calculate the value. Get this one. Now, if you calculate this value, I think for the theta, the value will come out to be, it is 63.82. So answer is C. Okay, so this is a simple problem, but you have to draw this diagram. This is very important. For condenser, if you know this diagram, then only you can calculate the values of theta 1 and theta 2. Okay, it is very simple problem, but I have told you the diagram. We must know the diagrams. Okay, so diagrams are very important, and the temperature difference. Okay, just remember three diagrams. I have told you which diagrams you have to remember. This is for parallel flow. Okay, this is for the counter flow. Okay, then this is for the condenser. Okay, and if you take this horizontal line here, and the temperature is dropping from here, so that is for evaporator. The next thing is what? Put the temperature. Where this is hot fluid, so TH1. This is hot fluid exit, TH2. What is this? This is for parallel flow. Parallel means arrow must be on the same side. Okay, this is what? This is TC1. This is what? This is TC2. This is parallel flow. Arrows are on the same direction. This is for counter flow. Counter means one is going this direction, another is going this direction. Hot fluid is having more temperature, so put TH1 here. This is what? This is TH2. Cold temperature will start from here, TC1. This is what? TC2. Okay. Now this is what? This is condenser. Condenser means TH1 is equal to TH2. Hot fluid temperature is same, because phase change of hot fluid temperature is there. So TH1 is equal to TH2. Now what is this one? This is TC1. Lower temperature is TC1. This is what? This is TC2. This is for evaporator. In evaporator, cold fluid temperature, there is a phase change of cold fluid temperature. That means TC1 is equal to TC2. And which fluid is giving heat? Hot fluid. So this is TH1 and this is TH2. Okay. Now what is theta? So this is theta 1. This is theta 1. What is theta 1? TH1 minus TC1. This is what? This is theta 2. Here theta 1 is what? TH1 minus TC2 in counter flow. This is theta 1. This is theta 2. In condenser, this is theta 1. This is theta 2. This is theta 1. In evaporator, this is theta 2. Okay. If you remember this one, 4 diagram, you can solve any problem from the condenser in the GATE examination. This is very simple. Okay. So the concept on, just remember the concept. Okay. So that will help you to solve the questions in the examination. Okay. Okay. We have come up to here. Okay. Now here. Now this is the another example. Okay. Question number 5. Okay. Now now this is the GATE examination. These questions from GATE examination 2017. Now counter flow heat exchanger. Okay, counter flow heat exchanger. Okay, so whenever counter flow heat exchanger is given, now what is the diagram for counter flow heat exchanger? This is the diagram. One fluid is coming downward, another is going upward. Higher temperature is always TH1. Lower temperature, outlet temperature of hot fluid is TH2. Lower temperature, the cold fluid is TC1, and the temperature goes up to TC2. So this is my counter flow heat exchanger. The first sentence of the problem, draw the diagram and then start reading the problem then afterwards. Okay. So counter flow heat exchanger I have drawn. Water is heated at the rate of 1 point. Now water is given. So water is always what? Water is always a cold fluid. Okay. So this is the water. So water is always our cold fluid. Okay. Now water is heated at the rate of 1.5 kg per second. So what is this 1.5 kg per second? So MC is equal to 1.5 kg per second. So this is given 1.5 kg per second. This is cold. This is cold fluid. From 40 to 80 degrees Celsius. Okay. So what is 40 then? This is 40 degrees Celsius. Inlet temperature 40 to 80. So cold fluid temperature will increase. So it increases from 40 to 80. So see the second sentence of the problem, and we have marked the temperatures on the diagram. Okay. So next, now it is heated by means of oil entering at 120 degrees Celsius. Now the oil comes. Oil means what? Now oil is our, if we take oil, so oil is our hot fluid now. Okay, this is our hot fluid now. Okay, so oil entering at 120 degrees Celsius. Okay, entering temperature of the oil is given. What is the temperature then? Hmm? Oil is entering at 120 degrees Celsius. So this is entering temperature TH1. So oil will enter from here. Okay, TH1. Okay, so that we have to be very clear. And living at 60 degrees Celsius, its temperature drops then. After giving the heat to the water, its temperature drops and it lives at 60 degrees Celsius. Okay, so we have now we have come up to here now. Specific heat of water and oils are given. Specific heat of water and specific heat of oil is given. So these two values are given in the problem. What is that? 4.2 and 2. One is, first is for water, 4.2. This is 4.2. Okay, that is what unit is given, kilojoule per kg. Okay. Here you have to be careful about the unit also. Here it is kilojoule is given. Kilojoule per kg. 4.2 and this is 2. This is 2 kilojoule per kg. Okay, so these things are given. Okay, the overall heat transfer coefficient is 400. Okay, U is given 400 watt per meter square Kelvin. Yeah, it is watt per meter square Kelvin. Okay, so you have to remember here. Here these are kilojoule. This is watt. So either we have to convert this or we have to convert this. Okay, we'll decide that after. The required heat transfer surface area. Okay, what is we have to calculate here? We have to calculate the value of A. The overall heat transfer, the required heat transfer area is in meter square. Is we have to calculate. Okay. Now how will calculate the area? See, first of all, the problem is what U is given in the problem. A we have to calculate. We know the formula where U and A is there. Q is equal to U A, and here comes the theta M. That is our LMTD. Now we have to calculate here A. So this is the question mark. Okay. Now U is given in the problem. Theta M is not known. So first thing we have to calculate theta M. Second thing we have to calculate here Q. Okay. Two things we have to calculate here. Okay. Now we will concentrate on first on the calculation of this theta M. How we will calculate this theta M? Theta M. So write down its formula first, and then we'll decide what are the parameters given in the problem. Theta 1 minus theta 2 ln theta 1 divided by theta 2. Just repeat the formula. Every time write down the formula. You'll remember the formula. Okay. Don't just assume that you know the formula. I don't have to write down the formula. But whenever you write down the formula, you will remember it one. Theta 1 minus theta 2 ln theta 1 minus theta 2. What is theta 1? Theta 1 is what? Here. This one. This is theta 1. 120 minus 80. Okay. So 120 minus 80 is what? Theta 1. What is theta 2? So theta 2 is here, 60 minus 40. So you can calculate the value of theta M. Okay, so I'm clear. This is clear. Okay, so theta M value we have calculated. Okay, now what is the unknown now? Q is remaining. Okay, we have to calculate the value of what now? Q. So how will calculate the value of Q? Either you calculate QC, or you calculate QH, or you take the energy balance equation. And we have to take energy balance equation because we know all the four temperature. So Q we can calculate from here. So this Q is equal to what? This Q is equal to either QC or it is equal to what? QH. Now what is the value? Now suppose if I am taking here the what? If you want to calculate the value of Q from QC, you take MC CPC cold water, okay, and delta T. Okay, so how we'll calculate this one? So Q is equal to now those who want to calculate using this cold this is hot fluid. This is hot using cold fluid. So use this temperature difference. Q is equal to MC CPC And what is the temperature? TC2 minus TC1. Cold temperature, while calculating the temperature difference of cold fluid, be careful. It is TC2 minus TC1. Now, what is M here? This is for cold fluid. It is 1.5. What is CP for cold fluid? It is 4. It is given 4.2. Okay, so this is 4.2. And what is the temperature difference? TC2, 80 minus 40. So this is 40 degrees Celsius. Okay. Yeah, this is 40. This value will come in watt. Okay. This is what kg per second. This is CP is kilojoule per second. So this comes kilojoules per second. So this comes in kilowatt directly. Okay. This value will come in the kilowatt. Okay. So that you have to multiply by 10 raised to power 3, and then you have to use the this formula. Okay. So just check the unit here. Okay. I'm not going to this one. I'm just telling you how to calculate the value of Q. Okay. This is unknown now. How to calculate this Q? So those who want to calculate this using QC, so use MCPC TC2 minus TC1. Those who want to calculate that Q, if you calculate the Q by H also, it will come same. So how to calculate that using the hot fluid? So general formula is what? MC delta T. What is delta here? Now H. It is CPH. And what is the hot fluid? TH1 minus TH2. This is TH1 minus TH2. So this will also come same. What is the MH? So that is given in the problem. MH. CP, it is given in the problem. TH1 is 120. TH2 is what? It is 60. You calculate this value, Q, you will get this one. Now Q is known, U is known, theta M is known. You have to calculate the value of area. You will get the answer for this area. So area will come out to be 21.84. So if you see this, just see the problem and calculate the value of this one. So see, this is the formulation of the problem. This is very important. Okay, how to formulate the problem, that is very important. That means what we have started with. So this is your TC1. Both these temperatures are known. Okay. Now what is asked in the problem? Area is asked. So when area is asked, first see what we have to which formula we have to use. Okay. Just I'm giving you the how to formulate the problem. When area is asked, first see which formula we have to use. Q is equal to UA delta theta M. So from this formula, the area is there. So I will calculate this A. But this is my question mark. Okay. Now the next thing is what? Now U is given in the problem. Theta M is unknown. This is unknown. Q is unknown. So first concentrate on theta M. How to calculate theta M? It is write down its formula first. Theta 1 minus theta 2 ln theta 1 by theta 2. This is the formula for theta. What is theta 1? TH1 minus TC2. What is theta 2? TH2 minus TC1. Although all four temperatures are given, I will calculate this theta M. Okay. How to calculate this Q? Wherever you have to calculate Q, either use energy balance equation or no need to use energy balance equation directly. That is QC or QH. Q is equal to MCP delta T. Q is equal to MC and delta T. If you are using cold fluid, here it is CPC, and here the temperature difference for cold fluid is what? It is TC2 minus TC1. Everything is given in the problem. This is given, this is given, this is given, this is given. Calculate Q, put it here, calculate the value of A. Very simple. I'm again and again telling, now this is my methodology. I'm not interested in what is the value of A in terms of 1.23. You have to remember, you have to practice on the concept, this one. Okay. If you know, if you make the habit of writing the problem like this, don't worry about this value. This will automatically, you will get this accurate value after when you calculate these values on the calculator. But the main thing is what? You must know how to calculate this one. This is very important. This is very important. Okay. So this is the formulation of the problem. Okay. One by one, we have to calculate the unknown, and you will get the solution of your problem at last. Okay. That will automatically come. Okay. Okay. Now let me take the last problem, and we'll stop here then. Okay. Now here again there is the same thing. The problem is given for the condenser here. the steam in a condenser of a thermal power plant. Now condenser is given. So what is the thermal the diagram for this one? Condenser is there. So we have to take this one like this, okay, and like this, because the higher temperature, that is steam, is at constant temperature because phase change of the steam is there. So TH1 is equal to TH2, and this is what TC1 is equal to this is TC2. Okay, so these are the things. Condenser is there. If evaporator is there, then opposite of this one. Okay, the constant temperature line, it comes downward here, and hot temperature. Okay, I will draw that one. So if this is for condenser, what is for evaporator? Evaporator like this, like this. This is cold feed. TC1 is equal to TC2, and this is what TH1. This is TH2. If evaporator problem is there, you have to use this diagram. If condenser problem is there, this diagram. Here, steam the steam has a phase change. Here, it is the refrigerant has a phase change, and the fluid which is having the phase change, its temperature remains constant. If you refer the diagram, okay, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. That means the water or liquid phase is converted into vapor phase, and while conversion, its temperature remains constant. So that concept only you have to use here. Okay, so thermodynamics. Okay, so thermodynamics. So you see that if the properties of the steam, okay, if that chapter is not covered in that the topic is there in thermodynamics, you just see that cover there. Okay, okay. Next, we'll go for next one. Okay, steam in the condenser. I have drawn the diagram of is to be condensed at a temperature of 30 degrees Celsius. So what is that 30 degrees Celsius? This is 30 degrees Celsius. Okay, so steam condensed at a temperature of 30 degrees Celsius with cooling water, which enters the tube of the condenser at 14 degrees Celsius. Cooling water, cold water enters at 14 degrees Celsius. So this is 14 degrees Celsius. This is 14 degrees Celsius. Okay. The next one is and exists at 22 degrees Celsius. Okay. So the next temperature is this is 22 degrees Celsius. Okay. So we are drawn that one also. The next thing is overall heat transfer coefficient is 2000 watt per meter square Kelvin. So U is given in the problem. U is equal to 2000 watt per meter square Kelvin. Okay, this is given, and the total heat transfer area is 50 meters square. Okay, so E is also given. E is given 50 meters square. Okay, this is given. So this is area is given 50 meter square. Okay, so area is given. Now net heat transfer in megawatt. Okay, we have to calculate it megawatt. Net heat transfer means what? It is Q value. Okay, so how will calculate this value? Here it is very simple. What is that value? What is the formula for Q? Q is equal to U, because U is given in the problem. So U A, and this is what theta M. Now here what we have to calculate? We have to calculate U. Okay, sorry, we have to calculate here Q. U is given in the problem 2000. Okay, A is given in the problem. Now this is unknown. Theta M is unknown. Now when this is unknown, so you write down the formula for this one. What is the formula for this one? This is theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by ln theta 1 by theta 2. Okay. Now what is theta 1? Theta 1 is here. What is theta 1? So this is same temperature. So this is here, this is 30. This is 30. This is also 30. So 30 minus 40, so that is equal to theta 1. What is theta 2? This is theta 2. What is 30 minus 22? So put the values here, theta 1 minus theta 2, ln theta 1 minus theta 2, you calculate the value of theta m, you will get the value of Q. Okay, and if you calculate the value of Q, so and we have to take that in what? That is given in megawatt. Okay, so you will get here the 6-digit numbers if you put the value this thing D. So suppose this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like this. You divide this total, you will get answer something like this. Divide it by 10 raised to the power 6, you will come directly here. Okay, and the answer will come 1.154. Okay, so you will get the answer, but be careful. We have to write down the answer in megawatt, and answer will come in watt. you have to divide this by 10 raised to mega means what? It is 10 raised to power 10 divided by 10 raised to power 6. So it comes to directly here. Okay, 1.14. So you see here answer is given 1 point. This one. This is the answer. So 1.154 is the answer. Okay. So already I have taken that means the LMTD part is now it is over. I have another part also, but I think that the time is now 6:22. We make me that means to continue the lecture. If you that means if you want to hear the NTU method is there. The next topic is what the NTU method. So we'll continue that if we get that means I will schedule that time, lecture in somewhere maybe in the Friday or Saturday. So if you are interested, we'll take the next topic also, that is effectiveness and NTU method. So I think so I hope that the LMTD method is clear to you. This is very simple method, but the concept is required, and I will share the PPTs also with you. Go through the PPTs. If you have any queries, you just ask me, and I will solve that query as far as possible. Okay. All the questions we have taken from the GATE examination also. So whenever you are solving the GATE examination questions, so you will get the confidence that we can solve the same problem also in the examination also. Okay. So this is from my side. I will take the second part of the this topic in the next lecture. Okay. So thank you very much, and I will share the feedback form. I think the most of the other students may get the meeting earlier. So those who are present, so you just fill the feedback form and other thing. If you have any query, you just ask me. So that is open to you. Just the unmute your mic, and if you have any query, you just ask me. Is anyone is having any query regarding the problems or whatever I have regarding the LMTD method? So have you understood or not this concept? Hello? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Problem is problem. It is okay. It is not opening. No? Let me check. Okay. I will share the link on the on our Gate that WhatsApp group, and then you fill your feedback. Okay. So if you are not having any questions, so we can then leave the meeting. Okay, because I'm not getting that now the feedback link now. Okay. So I will share that on the group. Later on, you can fill that one. Okay. So thank you very much. If you're not having any problem, so we'll close this meeting. The remaining part I will continue. That is NTU method. Yes, that will continue.